YouTube have some new, we've got some new settings going on right now. So let's see if we are live. All right, it looks like we are live. So welcome everyone. This is a new infrastructure of YouTube Live, which is actually pretty cool. So it's giving us some data. This is a whole new, this looks like a new beta thing. So this is awesome, guys. So welcome to today's live event. What I wanted to do was I wanted to actually talk to everyone about the way that most people don't talk about as far as how to go through and increase sales and conversions for your webinar events before you even host your webinar, before you even put your webinar together, before you invest all this time and money and energy into getting a webinar campaign set up to deliver to your audience. Now, what I wanted to do, and you'll see in the parentheses there, it says you have to do this first. Now, this is something that I've been talking with some coworkers and some other founders and other people in the online space, and we're seeing that this is something that is kind of happening a lot more, and it's a lot more acceptable, especially for those of you who are in service or software based, or you offer services to your audience. So the first thing that I would recommend doing before you even create your webinar, before you put your presentation together, before you start creating emails, before you invest all this time and energy into getting everything set up for your webinar campaign, is you want to actually pre-sell your product, your service, your offer before it's even created. And how we kind of came up with this is we sent out an email not too long ago, and we started talking with some of our customers, some people in our audience, and we wanted to get an idea of what people were looking for as far as a solution for them to feel like they are getting a ton of value and they're able to be successful by hosting a webinar event. Now, if you go through and you put together a presentation and offer and you do all this and then you go live, you can actually be doing yourself and your customers and your prospects a disservice, because if you do and you invest all that time and energy and work beforehand, and you've actually come to realize that it's not the right offer for your audience, or it's not a good position as far as where you're at in the marketplace or who your customers are, or whatever that might be, you're going to be hurting yourself and you're going to be hurting your customers, because you're not going to be able to provide the right service to your customers. So what I do is, what I recommend is talking to and actually engaging with your audience as much as possible and say, if I were to come out with this, is that something that you'd be interested in? Or if I come out with this, would you pay me today so I can deliver that to you in the next week or in the next 2 weeks or whatever it might be? And if you do that, if you go through it and you talk to people and you hone out your offer and you get feedback from other people and you figure out the price point, the offer, the content, and you figure all that out before you actually deliver it to your audience and you go live and you do a presentation, then not only are you going to be getting a much higher return on your investment as far as time, but you're also going to be able to get, once you actually get the feedback and you come out live with it, you're going to be able to go through and get higher conversions much more quickly. So, some people, I actually just started a webinar campaign. It was going through the perfect webinar funnel, and in the ad, I actually highlighted my dog, and I'm gonna show you my dog, and I'm gonna show you why I did this. So he is right here. Okay. he's sleeping right now, so he's not too thrilled with me. But the reason why, this is kind of another marketing thing of why I put my, this is my dog Crosby. Say hi, Crosby. Why I added him into a lot of my videos is because I noticed whenever I would go through and I would create an ad, or I would go out and I would promote something, anytime I wanted to get more engagement, I I noticed people were putting their animals on their ads. So, you know, whether it was like a bird or even if it wasn't even their animal, someone else's, and they put it in there, it was getting much higher engagement because people want to look at this, right? People want to look at him a lot more than they want to look at me, and so that's you know, even when you think about like when you're walking down the street or you're talking to someone. People don't care about my name or who I am or whatever it might be. People just want to know my dog's name. And even in my building, it's like I live in an apartment building. It's about 21 units or 21 floors, and there's like over 200 units in here. And most people don't know who I am, but they know who my dog is, right? So they'll go up to him and greet him as if he was a person, but they have no interest in connecting with me, or if I do connect with them, it's because I have my dog, right? So it's kind of an interesting feedback loop there. So kind of a tidbit of why, you know, kind of a marketing perspective of, you know, why it's good to have, you know, animals or pets or make it a little bit more personal within your marketing. So as far as that, you know, as far as going through and creating an offer and positioning it to your audience before you go live, and actually getting feedback, picking up the phone, talking to them, putting out Facebook posts to your audience, or you know, getting engagement from your YouTube subscribers or your Facebook friends, whatever it might be. Be sure you get feedback before you come out with an offer and you invest all this time and energy into it. Because if you realize once you come out with it and it doesn't convert or it doesn't work well, then you got to start all over again and you're doing 10x the work. So remove all of that work first, put out your offers. Figure out what's the best way to position yourself in the market. What's you know if you should be positioning yourself for people who at a lower price point, at a higher price point, and actually think about the skills that you bring to the table. So if you're very good at building an audience, or you're very good at getting leads, or you're very good at helping people overcome specific personal struggles or whatever it might be, figure out what that is and position yourself in a market where people want to pay more for your services to access to your knowledge. Because if you are discounting yourself internally, you're going to be getting cheap clients and you're going to be getting bad clients. And those cheap clients, they don't stick around. They have a much higher demand for what you're trying to do. So when it comes to doing an offer, coming out with an offer, be sure that when you are coming out with this, that you are positioning yourself in a way that increases not only let's say your dollar per hour, but it increases the value that you're able to bring to your audience. Because if you're able to fix a millionaire or a billionaire's problem versus fixing someone who makes $15 an hour, you're going to be solving much different types of problems. And the people's problems that you're fixing that are much higher leverage, they're going to talk about and share that information with their group and their network more, and that will help increase your business as well and help you expand and grow the way that you want to. So that is it for today as far as this live. Wanted to give you a quick, that quick tidbit of before you start your webinar campaign, you need to do this first. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any comments or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click the subscribe button and then you get all the latest updates and the latest content that we have to share. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming your way. So guys, thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you soon.